Do you fancy yourself a ninja? Do you prefer a little sneaky sneak? Then you, my friend, have come to the right place. My name is Caleb Simpson, and welcome to my ultimate guide for the stealth set from The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. In this video, I'm going to be showing you all the cool things you can do with that armor set, and where to acquire it, and all of the best farming locations for all the materials that you need to upgrade it. As the name implies, the stealth set makes you much more sneaky, and it does this by significantly reducing the amount of noise you make, in particular through movement, and in general you can just slow down to reduce noise, but the stealth set makes this even more awesome. A few quick clarifications though, this only muffles sound, it does not camouflage you or change your visibility. Enemies and critters will still detect you if they see you just like normal, so in order to use this properly you need to stay out of sight. Being quiet allows us to easily avoid a lot of enemy encounters, or you can use this to assassinate them and take them out one at a time. In this example, these two enemies have vision of each other, so I used a bomb off to one side to distract the far one temporarily. Anyways, the stealth set is amazing at initiation because if you can successfully sneak up on an enemy, you can perform a sneak strike, which does 8 times damage. Now because this has such a high multiplier, it's always best to do this with a really hard-hitting two-hander rather than using a sword or spear because the damage won't go as far with those types of weapons. Unfortunately, the stealth set has some of the lowest armor in the game and it doesn't have any other benefits once combat begins. So if you are discovered, you either want to run away or switch to a different armor set that has higher armor value so that you don't die, and also ideally has other bonuses that will benefit you in a direct confrontation. Because damage modifiers in Breath of the Wild stack, you can have multiple things making your sneak strikes that much stronger. So for example, you can eat a level 3 attack dish, then use the stealth set to sneak up on them, but then once you're successfully in position, you can swap to a different armor set that gives you a damage bonus, then equip the appropriate two-hander, and finally sneak strike for massive damage. These extreme measures are particularly effective against very high health targets such as Lynels, or white and gold variants of enemies that you may find in Master Mode, but generally speaking, a good two-hander will make sneak strikes one-shot most enemies in the game. Sneak strikes are also very quiet, so as long as you are careful, you can take out multiple enemies in a row without alerting the other ones. This is quite fun to do at night because most enemies will actually fall asleep after 10 PM. Just be careful not to touch them or you will wake them up. If you don't feel like wasting an ice arrow, the stealth set is a great alternative for sneaking up on horses. Just make sure that they don't see you. The stealth set is also amazing for collecting materials because critters are less likely to be startled and run away. This works very well with frogs, lizards, butterflies, and also fish. Just try to avoid dashing either on land or in the water, and you should be able to walk or swim right up to them. You can also do the same thing with any other outfit while using a stealth meal instead, and I think this is particularly helpful in regards to fishing because the Zora set gives you 100% bonus swim speed. The set bonus when you're wearing all 3 pieces at 2-star or higher will then give you the night speed up bonus, which will give you the tier 2 speed buff, but only at night. Now what this does is it makes you run a little bit faster, and you can also increase this further by having another tier 1 speed buff with food at the same time, and this will give you a total of the tier 3 speed buff, which is the fastest that you can run. In case you were wondering, this speed bonus does not increase your overall noise level, so don't even worry about that. But yeah, this is a great bonus because the biggest downside to stealth gameplay in general is just that it takes a while to sneak up on enemies, so the faster you can get to them, the faster you can take them out, and the less likely you are to get noticed. And if you decide you want to just ignore enemies instead, that increase of speed means that you can avoid a lot of combat altogether and get out of harm's way, or you can just purposefully make it night in general so you can travel around Hyrule faster, which is always appreciated. Now, if you're the type who only stealths infrequently, then it might make more sense to rely only on food buffs, because if you can fry up something that gives you 5 minutes or longer of stealth, that's often all you need for a small section where you're hunting some enemies or farming some materials. So that is a potential option. I'll list a bunch of ingredients here up ahead. My overall recommendation would be to use silent shrooms. I think that's overall the most efficient. They're easily plentiful. You can make them really well. Otherwise, you can make 30-minute buffs using dragon parts. You can technically accomplish the same thing using star fragments and save and loading until you get the 30-minute bonus, but that's a little bit awkward, but it is potentially an option. If you have the Sheik Smash amiibo, then you can use that to scan it, and this will allow you to potentially win the Sheik's helmet. Just know that you can mix and match it and you can wear that instead. The only thing different about it is the fact that it does require different ingredients to upgrade. In particular, it does require some star fragments. If you've enjoyed this video and everything I've talked about has made you salivate at this point, you can pick up your own stealth set by heading over to the Kakariko Village Enchanted Shop and purchasing it for 1,800 rupees. I think the stealth set is one of the better sets in the game. It's also really easy to upgrade, and most of the ingredients are available at the very beginning of the game. Only the stealth fin trout is kind of awkward, and it will take a little more time investment. But in general, though, I recommend that you only upgrade this particular set to 2 or 3 stars, because the only bonus you get for upgrading it completely is just more armor value. But because this is the lowest armor value set in the entire game, you're ideally switching to something else once combat is initiated anyway. I recommend just upgrading it enough that you don't get one shot while wearing it. The first ingredient we need is blue nightshades, which is conveniently right here in Kakariko Village as well, so you can easily get the stealth outfit to 1 star, and there are 7 of them that are around the Great Fairy Fountain itself. There's also a couple more that are scattered throughout the woods here, and otherwise just a little bit to the the northwest, there is a plateau that you have to climb up to, and there's like 8 or 9 of them on top of there, and I think that overall is the best, easiest place to get them. You can get a ton. Now, if you just wait a couple blood moons, these will all replenish as well. Now, also in Kakariko Village, worth noting is there are some sunset fireflies that are right next to the water wheel in the river there, right in the middle of town, and that's a great place to get them. It's just okay. They're a little bit awkward to get to. Otherwise, the best place to get them is in Faron. There's a place just south of Zonai Ruins where there's a bridge where there's a ton of them at night. Now, my experience has been that these ones don't respawn very well. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that, but just be careful. Try to very carefully, fly over to them while wearing the stealth outfit and collect as many as you can, as quietly as you can. Just south of Dueling Peak Stable is Hickley Woods, which is the best place in the game to get silent shrooms. There's a whole bunch of them just along the shore there, and then also up on top of the cliff further to the south. Just west of that is the best place in the game to get Sneaky River Snails, which is in Dea Village Ruins, which is just west of the Dueling Peaks Tower itself. There is some little empty wells, one to the north and one to the south in Dea Village Ruins. Each one has 5 Sneaky River Snails. South of that, there's also Farash Hills. There's a bunch of little shallow pools here, and there's tons of Sneaky River Snails there as well. There are 3 Silent Princess at each one of the fairy fountains, and also 3 next to the Master Sword in Korok Forest, and there's also 4 of them that is on top of Satori Mountain. Like all of the other stealth ingredients, Stealthfin trout will glow at night, which makes them much easier to spot. So make it night, then head over to Lake Makar, which is the moat that is surrounding the Great Forest of Hyrule. Remember to take a picture of one of them and set it as your sensor object to make this a lot easier, but Stealthfin can be found in schools of about 3 to 4 fish, and they're evenly spaced around the entire perimeter. Now, you can run along the outer shore and stuff, but I think it's far faster to simply just stay on Cryonis blocks the entire time, and then use the Zora or Salvager set to increase your swimming speed. Now, if you eat some stealth food to get that buff in addition to this, you can also swim super fast as well as silent, which makes it much easier to catch them. Otherwise, you can blow them up with bombs and then collect them that way. But anyways, if you get all of the ones inside the moat, you should have all of the ingredients you need. Now, as one quick note about all this is if you get too close to the center island, then you will get lost in the fog and it will teleport you somewhere along the outer shore. Alternatively, after you have completed the Trial of Second Sight, which is southeast of Korok Forest, and you gained access to the Kun Sadaj Shrine, you can then warp there to find about 4 Stealthfin that are here at Lake Saria. This is overall the easiest and fastest place in the entire game to get Stealthfin. It's super, super convenient, but you're going to be getting them slowly over time. So if you don't mind waiting, then this is the best spot by far. One comment about this, though, just so you know, is that fish in Breath of the Wild do take 2 blood moons to fully replenish, so it's not immediately. So if you go there every time, you won't find them here. You do have to wait more than 1 blood moon in order for them to respawn. But yeah, Stealth Set is awesome. My name's Caleb Simpson. Be sure to check out my other walkthroughs, guides, and live streams, because I'm always doing stuff. Remember to stay awesome, you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.